my fellow friends, family, and people of the world who helped me achieve this dream of colonizing the moon. We are here to witness another leap for mankind. In a few minutes, the first LunarGen rockets will launch into space and land on the near side of the moon to create the first moon city, LunarGen. Since 2122, the countries of the world have been researching, engineering, and exploring the possibilities of sustainable city on the moon. Today, our world makes this a reality.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of LunarGen. Isn't that exciting?
I remember when we had only 1,058 people on the city. Now we've grown to over 20,000 people on the moon. Isn't that crazy?
I remember when LunarGen rockets landed and deployed on the moon in the area known as Mare Frigoris, the Sea of Cold, just north of the Plato crater. Located on the near side of the moon in the northern hemisphere, this area contains a lot of basalts from ejecta as a result from volcanic activity, which also left behind lava tubes. Iron, titanium, and other metals and minerals are a plentiful resource that LunarGen used to continue to develop into a thriving city we see today.
How did people live when they first landed on the moon? How did you overcome the lack of oxygen, water, and shelter? These are huge challenges for living on the moon.
Our LunarGen rockets were used not only to get to the moon, but also gave everyone in our city a place to live and begin work when the city first began. These rocket sections attached into buildings for our residential and commercial zones. Each circular section has 3 bump-out, expandable sections and connectable tunnels to create a community pods within LunarGen. These were ready-made on Earth for the deployment on the moon once the rocket landed. Engineers used control center to move these sections into place using remote control and robotic technology to create the city layout.
The rockets provided immediate housing, greenhouses, healthcare, and commercial space for our supplies and activities without having to do construction right away. This allowed me and other hydrological chemical engineers, along with mechanical and electrical engineers, to focus on extracting and the frozen ice deep in the craters. A superheated Archimedes screw drill brings up the melted ice from under the moon's surface and is then filtered and added to the city's water reservoir that is preserved in a lava tube covered by a dome that is protected and maintained at temperatures above freezing. Water is then distributed to the buildings for use through pipes. Wastewater is collected, cleaned, filtered, and recycled at the water treatment facility because water is a necessity on the moon in order to survive.
The drilling for water allowed us to also collect the regolith or moon soil so we can create oxygen for our city. Regolith contains about 45% oxygen, but we have to process it to extract the oxygen. We use a process called electrolysis. Oxygen is extracted and the metals and other materials from the regolith remain. The facility collects the oxygen, monitors air quality, and continuously pumps oxygen into the air ducts in the building so that residents inside the connected tunnels and buildings do not need a special suit to live and breathe.
The lava tubes were found during exploration and surveying of the moonland. Some lava tubes we found were perfect for reservoirs and storage, while other lava tubes were connected to vast cavernous tunnels and spaces underground, perfect for expanding our city. Being underground provides protection from space-free solar radiation and harsh temperature swings.
One of our parts in our city are the AR simulation walls to mimic the Earth, day, and night cycles to provide nice landscapes to look at, to regulate circadian rhythms. Our city can even simulate weather such as rain, ocean waves, sunny days, and cloudy days on these walls to help with stimulation and variety for mental health.
Each community pod has a clinic for general health care. There is a city hospital for more advanced care in our underground portion of the city. Doctors get medicine and medical supplies from Earth when needed by sending them on the ships that bring tourists. Doctors also specialize in growing herbs for natural medicines. Health is the most important thing for our survival. Citizens have to get their exercise to stay healthy, and we provide fitness centers and monitoring for that.
Daily life on the moon has also changed so much over the years. Our city has grown in so many ways, from being more eco-friendly all the way to the amount of amenities. Our city is very conscious about waste. Most of our waste is recycled at the waste-to-energy facility to burn and turn into energy for use around the city. Anything that can be composted goes into the composting greenhouses for sustainable food sources, and any other materials that can be reused or recycled for our waste plant.
Another way we get energy is we use sphere-shaped solar globes to get energy from the sun. They are located on the top of the ridges of Mare Frigoris to collect maximum solar power from the sun. After we get the energy from the sun, we store it in the base of the solar panel, which is then distributed through our microgrids to each community pod. Our buildings also have solar panels on the roof to collect energy that is stored for backup.
A way we use our solar energy is for transportation. We use lunar walkers and moving sidewalks, like what you see at an airport. These lunar walkers drive themselves and work like a GPS. You can then drive them wherever you need or want, such as work and recreation.
Some things we do for recreation and entertainment are lunar cliff jumping, AR/VR recreation room, and other anti-gravity outdoor activities, as well as indoor fitness activities and theaters. We want our residents and tourists to be happy and healthy.
Tourist attractions are the most popular because it's very fun. When the tourists come from Earth, they pay for an all-inclusive trip. The money from the tourism helps to pay for the continuation of the LunarGen program and supplies for the city. This is because our city has a moneyless economy on the moon.
Our city is a moneyless economy because we are getting paid with necessities instead of worrying about how to pay for items. Every resident and visitor gets what they need and when they need it. There's really no reason for money when you're living on the moon and only need the basics. Everyone works together for the common good of the city and survival.
Speaking of working together, everyone maintains the greenhouses around the city to ensure our food sources. We use UV lights powered by our solar panels and use aquaponics since the regolith is not very organic. It is possible that we grow plants continuously on the moon and that we will have organic material to mix in the moon's soil that could be used to grow crops in the future. We also have a lunar hatchery that can raise chickens and serve as a compost facility. Chickens can be used for eggs and meat to eat, and their waste for fertilizing soil and adding to the overall compost available.
I just love it here on the moon. Together we will continue to make lunar life possible for generations to come.